China's President Xi Jinping will host the country's largest military parade, aiming to recast Beijing as a key custodian of a post-US world amidst geopolitical uncertainty. More than 20 world leaders, including Russia's President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong will attend the September 3rd Victory Day parade, marking 80 years since Japan's defeat in the Second World War. The parade will showcase China's military might and diplomatic influence, featuring cutting-edge weapons like hypersonic missiles and drones. Analysts say the image of Xi Jinping flanked by Putin and Kim may define the event as an axis of upheaval, challenging the West. For Kim Jong-un, who arrived in Beijing by his armored train, it is his first major multilateral appearance and the first time a North Korean leader has attended a Chinese military parade in 66 years. The guest list does underscore China's role as the world's leading authoritarian power. Western presence is limited, with only Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico and Serbian President Alexander Vučić, both critical of sanctions on Russia over the Ukraine war, attending. The parade also highlights China's growing influence in Central, West and Southeast Asia, with more regional leaders attending compared to the last parade back in 2015. Earlier this week, Xi Jinping used a regional security forum, the SCO summit in Tianjin, to rally developing nations for a more equal, multipolar world, promoting what he called the correct historical perspective on World War II. Experts describe this parade as part of a memory war in which China and Russia challenged the Western narrative of World War II, highlighting their role in defeating fascist forces. Xi Jinping has framed the war as a turning point in the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. And this parade will see some global heavyweights in attendance, including the Supreme Leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, Russia's President Vladimir Putin, and Myanmar's Min Aung-hlaing, who also recently met with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the SCO summit. Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico will also be in attendance, apart from Serbian President Alexander Vučić. 26 world leaders are set to witness this parade.
I know.
A show of solidarity by three countries shunned by the West over their roles in the Ukraine war. China's President Xi Jinping gathered his Russian and North Korean counterparts in Beijing for the first time on Tuesday. Russian President Vladimir Putin was hosted in the Great Hall of the People for a bilateral where he called the Chinese leader his dear friend. The pair then met at Xi's personal residence over tea. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's armoured train was spotted arriving in the Chinese capital before his motorcade rolled through the streets. The three are set to appear together at a massive military parade on Wednesday, where the Chinese president will flaunt his vision for a new global order as US President Donald Trump's America First policies strain Western alliances. For Kim, the parade will mark the largest multilateral diplomatic event he has attended. It offers the reclusive leader an opportunity to gain support for his banned nuclear weapons and expand his diplomatic circle. Analysts are watching whether the trio may also signal closer defense relations. Russia and North Korea signed a pact in June 2024, and a similar alliance is agreed between Beijing and Pyongyang. Any concrete agreement could alter the military calculus in the Asia-Pacific region. It would also be a blow for Trump, who has talked up his close relations with the trio and touted his peacemaking credentials as Russia's 3.5-year war with Ukraine has raged on. Xi also held talks on Monday with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, whose country has been targeted by US tariffs over its purchases of Russian oil. Trump's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent called the summit performative, accusing China and India, the biggest buyers of Russian crude, of being bad actors and fueling Russia's war.